Hello, hello. Welcome back to A Fresh Perspective on Business podcast. I'm Laura Leyland, your host for today. Also the Managing Director of Fresh Perspective Resourcing, a recruitment business with a twist. But we're not here to talk about recruitment today. And unexpectedly, we've had a co-host change at the last moment. And I've got Tony here with me.
Yo, how's it going?
Tony Greenwood.
That's me. I'm head of sales for Beartown Brewery, a fantastic craft brewery in Congleton. I'm also deputy head of positivity here at Fresh Perspective, but my best role is head of broadcasting and entertainment, and I'm absolutely overjoyed to be in your ears today.
Some would say it's actually worked out well because, you know, he is a leader in the sales industry, and that is what we're talking about today.
We're talking about sales, and that's my job.
It is your job. It's some part of my job too.
Yeah.
I reckon we're two good people to talk about how to overcome the mountain that is sales.
We are powerful salespeople, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm very good at my job. I know that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And it's good to have confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely. Confidence and passion.
Yes. Now, I have been parachuted in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at the 11th hour. I was not supposed to be here, but that's the level of flexibility that you're gonna get from the head of broadcasting and entertainment. I'm not familiar with the lyrics of the song we're going to sing. I'm not overly familiar with some of the content. I mean, I'm familiar with sales, obviously, but Laura's going to lead me.
Yeah. Also, flexibility, good for sales.
Great for sales.
Adaptability.
That's it, absolutely. The name of this podcast is The Climb. Now,
because sales can feel like a climb.
Yeah, it can. It can feel like hard work on your quads and your calves when you're pumping all the way up to the mountain, because it's not always plain sailing, is it?
No, definitely. It's definitely not always plain sailing.
Sometimes you fall down a bit.
You climb up. I say it's like a roller coaster, but really it is like climbing a mountain. So it's hard work. You might have to take a different path.
Yeah.
But then you get to the top, and then you can paraglide off it, and that's the downward roller coaster where you're like, whee! Or if you're me, you just bought a bike off a guy called Gary Barlow.
Well, wicked. Talk about sales. Woo! Well done, Gary.
Well done, Gary. Not the Gary Barlow,
No.
unfortunately.
No.
Don't think he would sell a bike on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, you don't know, do you?
I think he'd probably just give it away.
By the way, how good would it be if you walked to the top of a mountain and you got the opportunity to paraglide off the top?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a right treat, wouldn't it?
Maybe we should do this.
How would you get the paragliders to top, though? Helicopter?
No, they I don't know what they do, but it's a thing they do. They just...
Do they?
Yeah.
Are they the ones you sit on? You know, they sit on, in a triangle.
Like when you're on holiday over the sea, pulled by a speedboat.
Yeah.
There's those, but also there's like ones that they kind of fix into and then they like jump off of...
Like Batman?
Yeah. Or
Really?
a flying squirrel.
No offense, Batman, if you're listening, you are not a flying squirrel. Good Lord.
No, two very different examples.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yes, I did, because, you know, talking about challenges and mountains to overcome, I injured myself running. Very sad times. This is why I shouldn't run fast, because it's dangerous.
Wow.
So I can't run. But I thought I'll cycle under the advice of my physiotherapist.
Shout out.
Khadija at Pro Health Chiropractic. Khadija.
Shout out Khadija, Pro Health.
She's amazing. But I don't like cycling statically in the gym. It bores me. It's too hot.
Yeah.
So I bought a bike.
Wind.
And I love it. I never thought I would love it so much. I'm all kitted out with glasses. I've bought the biggest seat for it in the land.
Yeah. Comfort.
I have a large derriere. But oh my God, I actually do. I pump up the hills.
Yeah, you will do.
And then when I go down the hill at the end, I actually say it out loud. Whee!
Why should you not?
Oh, it gives me joy. It really does. Just that simple thing.
It is a simple.
I've taken us off on a tangent.
No, it's absolutely fine.
It's very relevant, though.
It is. It's come to that point now where we're going to have to sing, and then we'll roll out the Spanish.
It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Tony won't let me sing all of it.
Well, I mean, you did sing a lot of it on the preamble, and I mean, you weren't note perfect per se, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of words to sing, isn't it, for the people? Okay. I'm going to do my absolute best as well.
Yeah, good. I would expect nothing less.
I'm going to take your lead. Oh, I don't like this bit.
There's always going to be another mountain. I'm going to want to make it move. always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast you get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Sales. Wow.
Hopefully you all enjoyed singing along
Laura
with
was
us.
animated there.
If you didn't sing along, rewind it.
Yeah, do sing along.
Sing along. And it really gets me pumped singing on the podcast. I'm up for this now.
Yeah, and, you could also record yourself singing and send it into Vicky Taylor on LinkedIn. She would love to receive...
Send her a voice note on LinkedIn of you singing
Miley
this song.
Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about sales, but before we do, is Paula all right with me doing this, by the way?
I don't know. I'll have to ask her afterwards. I don't know what you're going to do.
Okay. Hiya, Paula. Hope you're well. I'm waving to you, but you can't see me. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Please do indulge me. I'm sure you enjoy this bit just as much as I do. As I say, this is episode 208 of a Fresh Perspective on Business podcast. But Laura, can you share with me and everyone listening around the world today, what is that in Spanish, please?
Episodio número 208.
Ocho. I'm very familiar with ocho right now. It means 8.
It does. Well done. Muy bien, Tony.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? We're going to talk about sales today because it's what I do and it's what Laura does. And it's mega important for business. If you don't sell any stuff, you're not going to have much of a business, are you? You need to sell your stuff. You need to sell yourself and sell your stuff. Whether it's a service, whether it's a product, whether you're selling trees, recruitment, dog walking, beer. You got to sell that, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're listening to this thinking, this is not of interest to me because I'm not a salesperson, you still need to listen because you might know salespeople and you might know business owners and you may pick up some tips, some pearls. You absolutely will pick up some pearls of wisdom from this podcast today. And you can tell them, your friends, because if you're an employee but you don't do sales, but you can positively impact your mate who is a colleague and they do sales, then that will benefit the business and you will keep your job.
Added value is what we call that. Yeah,
because if you don't, nobody helps salespeople and business owners sell stuff. Owners sell things, then that will impact revenue coming into that business and that could potentially impact the other people in it. So you're all part of one team.
Correct. One team. Love that.
So listen.
Laura's identified Laura's identified 4 areas here. She's done a lot of work. This is the first time I've seen it. Number 1, tenacity. Number 2, personality. Number 3, creating a brand. And number 4, arguably maybe the most important, resilience. Because we have to be resilient. Because there's a lot of no's in sales. A bit like there's a lot of no's with my dating game at the moment. But so you've got to be resilient. You've got to push through the no's to get the yeses that you want.
And you just keep going. Like in the dating game, if you get some no's, you don't stop.
No,
you might for a little period of time while you reassess and build your confidence back up. But you keep going because you want to meet someone. So it should be the same with your sales. Like we all get the knocks, of course we do. That's why it's like a roller coaster or climbing up and down a mountain, because you will have lows. But it's how we overcome them and keep going, trusting in yourself, having faith in the process, with tenacity and resilience and the other things that you can do in between those to make sure that it will come good. The only way it won't come good is if you don't.
Or if you stop.
Going. Yeah, if you stop.
That's right. So, yeah, we do sales every day and we blend things, don't we, with the process that we use. We're leveraging on our personality, our charisma, of which I have loads. Personal relationships, we might use CRM, we might use LinkedIn and social media to push our sales out there and push our message and show our values as an organisation because, people want to deal with a nice organisation and nice people, don't they? So we could do hours and hours and hours on this, but Paula would definitely shout if we did hours on the podcast. So let's start with tenacity.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that's written down here is building relationships and connecting with people. Oh, you got an email. Connecting with people and building long-term relationships and trust. So, and I'm a massive advocate of this, and something that I've recently introduced to the guys in our organisation, we sell beer and stuff, is to get some referral partners, which is a bit of an old school. Well, it's not an old school. It's like a networking term. So find people who will link to your target market, build trust and credibility so that they know, like, and trust you, and then they can refer you to their customers. Because at the end of the day, people buy off people.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. I've got a prime example for you here. What day is it today?
If people don't like you, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to buy from you. Why would they? Unless you've got the only product. You're the only person that sells what they need.
Which is unusual, like spaceships. And
maybe.
So I don't sell spaceships. My MD got a referral from a bloke he knows who's a hospitality consultant in Manchester because he had a client who wanted some beer, right? So he primed him all up. This guy rings Joe, tells him everything that he wants, and Joe said at the end, this is a really long story cut quite short, and Joe said to him at the end, "Wow, you've talked a lot about what you need. Do you not want to know a little bit about us?" And the guy said, "You're okay, mate. I trust insert name of the chap. He says you're right for me, so that'll do for me."
Absolutely, that's amazing.
So don't even talk about price. Don't even talk about anything else. The recommendation is so strong, and that's why your relationships are really are so important. Not only with your clients, then they'll come back for repeat business, but also that they can say, "Hey, Johnny did a right good job for me with insert name of service or product. Why don't you give him a call?" And honestly, that is going to change up our business in the next few months, because we even had a conversation last week with a syrup company. You know the syrups that when you go to coffee machine.
Like vanilla latte.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
They give a squirt.
Love a vanilla latte.
Very sweet though.
Do they make the sugar syrups for cocktails?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's those.
Sounds like my kind of business. Do they need any recruitment?
Not sure.
Anyway,
and he was saying that's just an example of he's connected to our target market. So he's talking to hotels, he's talking to restaurants, he's talking to pubs about when they make the cocktails and when they're making the coffee, they have all these syrups and stuff like that. And he's like, "Yeah, I know these guys, yeah, blah 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 blah." Likes us, likes the branding, likes the organisation, and yeah, good. Thanks for moving that. And obviously we have got, in our direct delivery area, 450 customers, the majority of which will do cocktails and do coffees. And why would you not buy someone from who's a bit sensitive, based in the UK, in Bristol? Shout out Bristol Syrup Company.
Woo! Got a vacancy in Bristol at the moment.
Have you?
Lifting engineer. Anyone's listening who's a lifting engineer, wants a new job, contact Vicky Taylor on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you'd love to receive your message. Cheaper than the Italian counterpart and tastes better. So
wins all round.
Why would you not?
Unless they'd not built a relationship and they weren't very nice to deal with, then you might.
Exactly. But yeah, tenacity. Let's talk more about tenacity. Persistence, because you're going to get... Let's talk about your sales funnel, a really quick sales funnel. You're going to make a call. You're going to do a bit of a pitch. You're going to create a proposal, and you're going to get a yes or a no. But the more stuff you stick into the top of the sausage machine, the more calls you make, the more meetings you have.
Love sausages.
Yeah, chicken ones.
I like pork ones. They're just very calorific. Not good if you want to lose weight.
No, bit fatty. Anyway.
Good on a barbecue, though.
Great on a barbecue. A bit like if you're prospecting to get some appointments. There's some people not going to be in. There's some people who don't want to talk to you. There's some people who are going to be grumpy. There's some people who don't see value in what you're doing. But there's some people that will. So it's all about being persistent and tenacious when it comes to that prospecting to get your meetings. Because if you just made 2 or 3 calls and people said, "No, I'm busy," or "No, can you ring me back in a month?" or "No," but it's like, oh, I don't like this. You just got to keep going.
And then that's when people's head drops and they stop it. They stop doing because they're like, it's not working, but it will work. So like, we don't do cold calling or much outbound calling. Ours is more of a LinkedIn strategy. So what if you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll see our posts and hopefully you think they're engaging. But what sits behind that is a strategic outbound messaging, and that's not AI, it's not automation.
No.
Everything is personally tailored. But for example, I could have a week where I will send 100 messages on LinkedIn. So 20 a day. And I would say on average, you get a 50% hit rate. So people accepting invitations and people are replying to messages, unless it's August.
Are these people in your target market with the hiring banner?
So they're in the hiring banner, or
unless it's August. Stop going on holiday.
I know.
Unbelievable.
They've got the hiring banner on LinkedIn, or they're a managing director of a business. And they will need recruitment at some point.
Indeed.
Hopefully they want to use us. They might not want to, but I don't know why. That would be
why
crazy.
would you not, please?
But, so I could get, like, I don't know, 2 good leads a day, which is really good from LinkedIn. Like 2 people wanting to turn your conversation into a call. So that's 10 a week. That's a lot. So then my 50% conversion rate to that. Ooh. So this is good. These are good numbers for me. But then the following week, I could get 0. People aren't engaging on my posts as much. Then not as many people are seeing my posts. People are not accepting my invitations, and nobody's replying to my messages. Or they are, but they're not. I'm not converting those messages into calls. And that has happened. Last week it happened, and when it happens, you think. And everybody does, this is not working, this is shit. What am I going to do? Because I'm panicking now because it's impacting my pipeline. August is a bugger for that. July is usually, but we had a great July. Everybody seems to be on holiday in August, but that doesn't mean you should stop. It means if you keep going, the end of August and September, when everyone's back, is going to be banging.
Is it always banging?
Yes.
Right.
But if I wouldn't stop, because if you stop, then people are definitely not going to accept my invitations. They're definitely not going to message me, and they're definitely not going to engage on my post because they won't be there. The only person that is impacted by stopping is you. Obviously, your potential customers, because they won't get the opportunity to see you and work with you, build that relationship, engage with your amazing service or product, and just have a great time and get value for money. So really, you owe it to everybody to be persistent. And that's what tenacity is. It's keeping going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a dog with a bone.
Yeah. The dog will just keep eating and licking the bone.
Digging for that bone. He knows, like Bruce, he knows that there's a biscuit underneath my drawers, and he will not stop until he's got me to move the drawer so he can eat the biscuit.
Yeah, go on, Bruce.
So be more Bruce.
Be more Bruce, everybody. And that all goes... So your prospecting activity will ultimately, like on your LinkedIn messages, like on your calls, like on your social media posts, that will ultimately dictate how much of that stuff you need to put in the sausage machine. So you'll know, for example, you've just mentioned it there, I'll send out 100 messages a week. I'll get 50% back and 50%, and I'll convert X, Y, Z to that. Similarly, but if you stop, you won't have those stats, so you won't know what activity you need to do at the front end to get the deal at the back end. For example, if you know you need to do 1 deal a week, which is worth 10 grand, and you have your conversion rate off your meetings is 50%, then you need to have 2 meetings a week. And if your conversion rate to go from proposal to meeting is 50%, then you need to do 4 proposals.
Yep.
And then if it's 25% of calls to proposals, you need to do 16 calls. So you know for your 10 grand, I absolutely need to do 16 calls.
Yeah.
And that is the way that you can make a bit of a formula about your pipeline, because you know what you need to chuck in at the top to get your sausages. It's a sausage machine. Into the sausage machine to get the sausages at the end. It's just maths.
It is, but it's so tempting to stop putting pork mince in the machine.
Keep the mince going, guys. Keep the mince going.
You're thinking it's not working, this is rubbish, and you try and do something else, and then that doesn't work, and you're like all over the show. But what I now do, rather than stopping because my week is not going how I planned, I do more. So I'll send 150 to 200 messages. I'll send more invites. I keep with my posts. I stick with that process and have faith in the random algorithm of LinkedIn. But then what happens the following week? Like this week, I have more leads than I expected because I did more activity last week when things weren't going to plan.
Good.
So I used the time that I would normally spend in meetings and calls, because I didn't have many last week, doing more outbound activity, and now that has improved my pipeline. So it's just keep going. Every single salesperson in the land has had a shit week, a shit month, even a shit year, but the best salespeople are the ones that know that they are good at their job, they have confidence, They know that they have a process and that it works. And so you just have to keep going. Talk to other people, talk to other salespeople, message me, Vicky, or someone else.
Yeah, you
We've
must.
got to stick together. Like, it is hard, but knowing that you are good at your job and that your process works will help you be persistent and tenacious.
And also, you never know, although you might have had some bad calls and not got all the appointments that you want, if you keep going, you never know what that next call is going to be. It could be your dream client. You might be ringing at the right time. They might really see value in what you're saying and what you're doing and the product and service that you're offering. And how many times have you heard it in a meeting or on a proposal call where the people will say, "Oh, it's a really good time, actually, yeah," or "God, you couldn't have timed that any better."
Oh, yeah.
And that
Joy. Joy.
Not that it happens all the time, but as soon as that is uttered from the word out the mouth of the prospect, you're like, "Wow, this looks like it's going to be a deal."
And then you're like, "It works! It works!
It works!"
And it's that dopamine hit of joy that we're all chasing. But
Deal.
obviously, the longer that it doesn't happen, the more diluted that becomes. And that's when people stop being tenacious.
Exactly right. So keep banging the phone, keep sending those messages out, keep following your process, and keep trying to close those deals. A little bit of a tip for you, which we've absolutely not put on here. Always ask for the business. You wouldn't believe the number of salespeople that have a meeting or do a proposal and actually don't try and close the business. And maybe I was like that maybe 10, 15 years ago. But now, if I know I've done a good job, and if I know I've got a good product or service, and I know it can add value and solve a problem for the client, for the customer, I will absolutely ask. It sounds like from everything we've talked about today, we could do a really good job for you. What do you think about moving forward?
Absolutely.
You must.
What, if any, reasons are there why you wouldn't move forward?
Yeah.
When are you going to make a decision? Tuesday, okay. I'll call you on Tuesday afternoon.
I'll sit outside your house.
Yeah.
Well, good.
I'll be there on Tuesday with my contract and a pen.
Absolutely. So if you take away nothing else from this fantastic broadcast, always ask for the business, because you're not doing it at the moment, are you? So what's the worst that could happen? They could still say no, or they'll give you some objections as to why they're not, and you can handle those, or go away and look at the commercials, or look at the timeline, or look at a certain aspect of the deal or the proposal that you're putting together, that you put forward, and change up accordingly, and be adaptable with you got to be adaptable with your style and with the way you deliver stuff, depending on who you're talking to, but also be adaptable if you can with your commercials and your proposal, because everyone's different, aren't they?
Everybody is different, and it's asking the questions so you've got the information so that you can adapt your style, your process, the price, something, if you want to and need to get that deal over the line. But if you don't ask the questions, you'll never know what you need to adapt.
No, you won't.
And that's why it's like when Tony said before about tracking, you start seeing your numbers again, because you might need to adapt. Like, I adapted my numbers last week because I had a poor week, and it's impacted this week positively. So don't just always, when we say keep going, just don't blindly follow your process. Look at where you can make improvements.
Thank you for that great piece of advice. Yeah, we have it was our new financial year starting in August, so we've got quite a large new business volume target to hit in the next 12 months. So we put a really rigid process together to hit certain types of customer with meetings on a week-to-week basis. So whether you're an existing customer, a lapsed customer, so someone's not bought you stuff in the last 6 months. And we've introduced something called Airtown Breakfast Club. Oh, yeah, I should tell you that. I don't think I've told you this at all. So the guys have, I was going to say, what's the word I'm looking for? They've got a remit now on a Friday morning. The guys have a remit now to either go and see an existing customer for increased wallet share or a lapsed customer and have a conversation, not really salesy, and take breakfast. So coffee, McDonald's, bagel. I mean, there's lots of things you could have for breakfast.
Obviously,
I'm not gonna name them all now. Just with the objective of finding out what's going on in the business, finding out what's going on with them, try and tease in why we're not doing as much as we could be doing, or if there is an opportunity for increased wallet share, talk about it at the end. But that when you talk about building relationships and having brand advocates on your side and just operating in a different way, I think people will absolutely appreciate that. So I'm going to come to you with coffee and tea. I'm going to come with croissants. We're just going to have a chinwag about how Tracy's broken leg is, or how your dog's doing, or
it's relationships, isn't it? And then personality.
Absolutely.
Rather than just taking or bringing the bog standard stuff like, I don't know, some branded pens or just stuff. I mean, and we all like. I don't. Pen, but there's nothing wrong with that. But like taking a McDonald's breakfast, I'd be like, yes, get in.
People like that sort of stuff. Yeah. Although it's simple and it's easy, I just think.
Or if someone brought me a Starbucks, someone brought me an oat milk flat white, I would be like, what do you want me to do?
You have a flat white? I've had oat milk latte from Starbucks. They're well good. They're expensive though, aren't they?
Yeah. This is why I need to get to silver status on Vitality.
Do you get a discount on Starbucks?
Yes.
Do you? How much?
I don't know. I'm not there yet. And cinema tickets.
Oh. I went to the cinema for the first time this year to watch Wolverine versus...
Me too!
Man, it was good.
It was good. Love Ryan Reynolds.
Well, good. I do. He's handsome and funny.
Gemma's like...
Similar
and
to
his
myself.
wife, Blake Lively, she's hot as well. And she's like, maybe you and Pete could have like a double date and just swap partners. I'm like, what? Gemma?
I was not expecting you to say that. Crikey, what's Pete saying about it? He's up for it.
Probably.
Yeah. Does he listen to the podcast?
No.
Come on,
Honestly,
Pete.
so unsupportive.
Pete, that's lazy.
Never comes to cheer me on in a marathon.
By the way, let me tell you something. We had a rap party a couple of weeks ago for the Freshies. It was at 1842 in Preston. Shout out Brandon and the team. By the way, Brandon, get some Inception on, please.
Oh, yes, please.
Anyway, what's my point? My point is, the last question, we had a round about the Freshies. So
you said we did a quiz.
We did a quiz. I've just gone off.
We had a singer, we had pizza and chips.
Oh my God.
Welcome drinks, and we did a quiz, and we had it outside in the sun because it was glorious.
It was absolutely fantastic. And about 75 people there, something like that. And, the sponsors, people who had helped us and supported us with raffle prizes, and a few winners turned up. Oh, it was absolutely lush. Lush, there you go. Anyway, my point is, the first round was a Freshies round. All related to the Freshies and Fresh Perspective. For example, the first question was, if you were playing Scrabble and you spelled out the words Freshies, how many points would you get?
Also, side note, in case people don't know, Freshies are our annual business awards that are not for profit.
What?
Profit, and we donate all the profits to charities.
What was the venue for the event this year, Laura?
Blackburn Cathedral.
Good Lord.
I know, the House of God.
The House of God, amen. Anyway, speaking of... Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of... So I said one of the questions was, the last question in the Freshies rounds was, what is the number of the episode that we're up to on a Fresh Perspective on Business podcast? And I put the microphone in Emily's face, didn't I?
What did she say?
164.
Emily is my sister and business partner, and she's been on maternity leave. Still is on maternity leave till next week.
Really? Right. She's in today.
She's doing a keeping in touch days.
Keeping it to that's very, very new, isn't it? Keeping in touch days. I don't know.
We've never done it before, so it's just one day a week for 10 weeks.
Is she good at keeping in touch? Set you up, I knew, yeah. I wanted to set you up for that one. While we're talking about podcast, Pete doesn't listen, Emily doesn't listen. But Pete, start listening to the podcast, please. Oh,
yeah,
it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult if he doesn't listen, though.
Yeah, but no, it is relevant, the rap part. I love tangents, but it is because we've created a brand online, and that's really important for sales. I've got a personal brand, and the business has a brand, and we've woven into that carefully is my personality and the personality of the business and everybody in it, because we have strong values. Everybody is similar, but different. So they all have their own personal brands. You have yours, Tony, and then you've got the brand of Beartown, which is really clear, and so is Fresh Perspective, and that is really, really, really important for any salesperson.
Yeah. What do you stand for? What's your what are your values? How are you perceived? What's your branding look like? We always get commended for how cool our brands look on the bar.
It's eye-catching.
Yeah.
And fun, and it's engaging because it's hot pink, which is amazing.
Oh, I've not got it on today.
I mean, you have got some pink on. You've got his London Marathon T-shirt on.
I did the London Marathon.
Me too!
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, actually, talking about that. When we talked before about tenacity and building relationships, like that is all part of you creating a brand and personality. And a few little stories for you. So, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way, but I'm telling you because when it actually works, people remember you, and then they know you, and then when they're ready to buy what you've got, they'll contact you because they like you, because they know you, because you created a brand, you've shared your personality, blah blah blah.
Blah 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 blah.
So, Pete recently sold his camper van, and to a very nice man from Bolton, and we've bought a new one. But the guy came to pick it up with his wife. I wasn't there, so he came in the house because he needed to sign some stuff. And he was stood looking at a picture, and Pete's like, "What is he doing?" And he went, "Is that?" And he's talking to his wife. She went, "Yeah, I think it is." And Pete went, "Do you know her?" And he went, "Is that Laura Leyland?" He went, "Yeah." He went, "Do you know her off LinkedIn?" And he went, "Yes, we do. We know her from LinkedIn." Like, how random is that? And that's because I've consistently and tenaciously built a brand on LinkedIn. People know I do recruitment, but they also know other things about me. So the route to sale, the barriers to that, the speed of the sales process is all shorter and faster and better because of what I put out there online. And then I was in the gym this week actually, and the lady was like, I actually walked past her and said, "I really like your outfit," because I loved it. And then she's like, "Thanks so much." And I carried on and did my thing. Came back into the main gym, and she's on the leg press. I was like, "Have you finished?" She's like, "Yeah." Brilliant. And she went, "Is it Laura?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I follow you on social media." I'm like, "Oh, amazing." She went, "You're the marathon lady." I'm like,
the marathon lady.
I've only done 2, but I will take that.
Take it. The
marathon lady. So it works. People remember. And people might not always come up to me and go, "Oh, you're the recruitment lady," but that's fine. But they know my name and they know what I like to do. They will absolutely know what I do because I always talk about that as well.
Absolutely.
So it's so important to share part of yourself, especially if you want to build relationships and you want to sell some stuff.
You do always want to sell, because you're going to want to sell some stuff. And people, I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, people buy off people, don't they?
I don't think you've ever said that.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah, well, and you as a person, there's only one person that's like you, and that is you. You are different to everybody else.
Yeah.
So use that differentiation to build rapport, to communicate with your audience, build relationships, and create inbound sales. Make your life easier. Use social media for this, particularly LinkedIn. But then talk about things like that when you ring people. Like someone rang me once, and he's like, "Hiya, it's blah 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 from blah blah blah," and then he said, "Well done on Tough Mudder." I'm like, "What?" He went, "I saw that you've done 3 Tough Mudders." I'm like, "Oh," and he caught me off guard, and he caught my interest. I was in that conversation. So I was like, "Thanks so much." He's like, "I've just done one. Where did you do it?" And then we were into a conversation without me even realising it.
I like that. But that's all about being I use this phrase a lot, point of difference. And that's making your personality and you differentiating yourself, themselves, from the previous person or the next person that's going to ring you up and trying to sell you some stuff that you're like, "Oh, right." So you always do need to have a point of difference, don't you? Is it your product? Is it your personality? How are you solving a problem? So just consider what that point of difference would be. I've started leaving, to a greater or lesser degree of success, I've started leaving code words on voicemails just to see who actually listens to the voicemail or not.
It won't be me.
No.
Hate voicemails.
Yeah, and that's why I do it, because I think voicemails is really old hat now.
Because everyone says the same thing. It's Laura from Fresh Perspective.
Tony doesn't.
Can you give me a call back? So people switched off to it because it's boring. So if I got one and it just said unicorns, I'd be like, "What's this?" Like, "Call me back if you listen to this." I don't know. It would just be more interesting. So how do you leave these code words?
So I say, "Hey, it's Tony from Beartown. I'm just doing a bit of... Please do give me a call back, by the way. But listen, I'm just doing a bit of a test at the moment because a lot of people tell me voicemails are old hat. So if you're listening to this now and you do want to call me back, the code word for our conversation via WhatsApp or call is toboggan."
Toboggan. What a great word.
I've
Very
just thought of that-
underused.
I've just thought of that right now.
Right, okay.
It doesn't have to be toboggan, though. It can be cushion,
Well, it could be any word.
syrup. Yeah, it could be. We don't have to go through all the words right now, but that's been a point of difference, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's just trying new things. Adaptability. Try
Adaptability.
different things. Engage with humans. And like when you going back to like sharing parts of yourselves, if you share your interests online, you will attract other people that share your interests. And then when you do get them in your sales funnel, you've got more common ground to talk about. So I share that I run, don't know if you know it, but I did run a marathon. Actually, I've run 2. Never talked about it before. and I have at least 2 clients recently that I know run, and we talk about running, and they've come on board since I started talking about running.
Yeah.
And then every time we catch up, it's not, I don't ring them up going, how's your recruitment going? Got any more vacancies? I'm like, oh, how's you running? Have you been out more? What else have you got booked? And we get into a conversation about running, and then they go, how's business? And I'm like, it's going great. What about you? Like, actually, we're growing. No.
Bosh.
Probably need some recruitment. Do you want to come in for a brew? And I know I'm making it sound so simple, but sometimes it just is.
It is so true. It is so true. Find that connectivity, whether it's something to do with sport, something to do with cooking. Animals is a good one. It's a great one, isn't it? Dogs, they're a great connector.
Yeah, or just what you do at the weekend.
That's
like,
what I mean, like camping.
Yeah, what did you do for your birthday?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's my birthday on Tuesday. Nothing. I'm too, I don't know. I've had a lot of them now, and my kids are teenagers, so, I mean, they're not overly invested. I mean, they probably are. It's just another day, isn't it? It's just another day.
Moving on swiftly. If you were to do something for your birthday, share it. Like, tell people what you did at the weekend. Ask them what they did. Share your interest. Show your dog. Talk about your kids. Common ground. Building rapport, which will
help.
Build trust and credibility.
If you didn't know, I always do a Monday morning post on of the LinkedIn, and it always says, Happy Monday, LinkedIn. Every single Monday. And it's a bit of a rundown about what we've been doing, what I've been up to, and what's happening this week. I think people like it. Although the last 2 weeks, impressions have gone very, very well.
School holidays. Oh. People are not on a LinkedIn as much. Impressions are down.
Yeah.
Engagement is down. Everything is down because people are on a beach. Dealing with children.
Right.
So they're not on LinkedIn.
That makes my ego feel a bit better.
So if you think, when do schools break up? Mid-July.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a clever sausage.
So don't worry. Oh, keep going.
Keep going,
Trust
baby.
the process.
I haven't posted this week since Monday because I've been grumpy.
No, Tony. Trust the process. Be tenacious. Be consistent.
Oh.
And then in a few weeks' time, when these people get off holiday, they will be all over your posts. But don't stop.
I'm sat back in my chair. You can probably tell, just having a little bit moment of contemplation now.
Contemplative.
Yeah. All right. Well,
There you go.
don't do a Tony.
So don't worry.
Be less Tony.
Yeah, and it's like, not always be less Tony, but just in this example. But like when the World Cup's on or the Olympics, like look at, if you're not getting a load of bites in comparison to usual, look at what else is going on in the land.
And relate it to
I
that.
think actually it could be because people might be in France watching the Olympics, or Germany watching the football, or just hungover from watching the football in the pub. Like, there's loads of other things that can factor in. Don't take it personally. And also, LinkedIn could be making updates, and that will impact the algorithm. And they don't give you any warning. It's really annoying.
I don't understand what that means.
What?
Updating the algorithm.
They'll update LinkedIn, and then it impacts all those users.
I don't even know how it works.
No, well, you don't need to know how it works. You just have to keep going.
Yep. Tenacity. This is more about tenacity this episode. Just be tenacious if you're in sales. You must.
And resilient.
Yeah.
It is hard work. You've got to have skin like a rhino.
Yeah, you
Don't take it personally. Just got to keep going.
Got to keep going, baby.
We have a punch bag in the office, and we have a wonderful team around us. So sometimes, if you're having a shit day and a shit week, you tell people, and they might get you some chocolate or sweets at lunch, or come and give you a hug, make you a brew, or get you on the punch bag, and then you'll feel better.
Yeah, it's not all plain sailing in the sales world. There's more no's than yeses, isn't there? That's just life. If everyone bought your stuff every single time, then, you'd be golden, wouldn't you? But it's not going to happen, is it?
No. It isn't going to happen. And so handling rejection is something you're going to have to get used to. And it is something that you build up over time. Where the first time it happens, it is awful. Like Cheryl, who works for me, she's almost completed her first full year in sales, and she had her worst month ever in July. And whilst it's frustrating and sad and disappointing for everybody for different reasons, in a way it was good that it happened because she learned a lot from it. And she went on holiday at the end of July. She took some time out, and she's June. She came back in July and much more confident, seems more positive, upbeat, seems stronger from it.
I like Cheryl. I love Cheryl.
But me too. But that's only if you look at why is it not happening. Talk to the people about it. Don't just internalise it and think that you're just suddenly rubbish at your job. Look at what you can improve. Look at what you learn. Ask for help. And that will help with any lost motivation or confidence.
Cool. I'm enjoying listening to this. I am. I'm not even joking.
It's like a game of snakes and ladders, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And sometimes you land on that massive snake right at the end, just before the finish, and you end up back at square one. Sometimes that happens. But pick up those dice.
Pick up those dice and keep rolling. Again.
Yeah.
Also, one final... We've been talking for so long, haven't we? We are so good.
There's so much to say about this topic. Honestly, we could do a whole full day workshop on this.
We could. One final thing that I will say is the word qualification. And that is arguably the most important bit. So once you've done your prospecting and you've got a meeting, asking the right questions and listening rather than talking is one of the most powerful tools that you can execute in your sales process. Once you've gathered all the information, it's important that you qualify in or qualify out of your pipeline, because what you don't want to be doing, you don't want to be spending a lot of time and resource on people that say a lot of things and maybe haven't got the budget or maybe haven't got the time or kicking it down the road or don't fit your values or they're going to chip you on price and don't see the advantages of this problem you can solve. Work with the people that actually align with your values. Work with the people that can see the added value that you can do, see the problem that you can solve. They have a budget, they're qualified, they're enthusiastic, they're happy, and they're nice people, and they pay on time.
Oh, yeah, we love those people. Like, it's respect. You need to be respectful of other people, but you have to respect yourself.
Yeah.
Your time is precious. You are good at your job. You deserve to be treated like a human, and you deserve respect from other people. And that's something that Cheryl learned. She won't mind me talking about it, but people were messing her around, and she had all these people that were messing her around, not coming back to her, saying they were going to make a decision, come on board, and then ignored her. Didn't show up to calls. And so for the month of June, this was just negative. And I was like, you need to get rid of these people out of your process because it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your future pipeline. And it's making you unhappy. And she's so scared to say no to people because she wants that sale. Of course she does.
Yeah.
For herself and for me and for Fresh. But it's okay to say, this is not okay. I'm gonna remove myself from this process and focus on more positive things. So you're getting out of the negative Nelly land and into the positive pioneer future area. And it's a much nicer place to be. And we will then contribute to your resilience because it's all about staying positive and optimistic when shit gets real.
Because if you're new into sales like Cheryl, for example, like you say, you will want to chase that deal. You want to do as much as you can. You want to generate as many sales as you can. But I'm a bit of an old boy in sales now. I've been around the block a bit. And I absolutely take the position, right, that if you don't want to return my calls or return my emails or whatever, and you don't want to deal with this, that's okay. I'm not one of the... I'm not a chaser now. I'll be absolutely honest. I'm not a chaser. If you like the stuff that we're doing and you like the product that we're selling and you like the problem that we're solving and you like us and you like our company, great. And if you want to work with us. And if some of that doesn't fit and you're ghosting us, that's all right too.
That's fine, but I'm going to leave you to that.
Yeah,
I'm not putting myself in this situation because...
There's loads of people over here in this hot tub that are absolutely loving life with our product or service. They're absolutely loving it. So I'm just going to jump in with them.
Yeah, and it's like I said to Cheryl, it's like dating. Like if you were dating someone and they didn't show up to your dates and they didn't reply to your messages and they didn't answer the phone, you wouldn't carry on, or you
No.
shouldn't carry on
Block
in any situation. And sales is the same. Like, this is fine. It's just not going to work for me. It doesn't sound like you're super keen, and that's okay.
100%.
So we send an email saying, obviously things have changed at your end, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to leave the ball in your court. Would love to support you when the time is right, but when that time is right, you let me know, and we can go from there. And that's basically saying, see you later. I'm bidding you off for now, but if I'll give you another chance in the future, but only one.
Yeah. Or if we're not right for you and the product or service isn't right or whatever, or we're too expensive, or you didn't like my tie, I don't wear a tie anymore, or you didn't like my shoes, or you didn't see any value, just tell us. Because it's good to get feedback, innit? Hiya, mate, you were too expensive. Hiya, mate, I've had to go with another supplier because of X, Y, Z. Hiya, I didn't like that contract. Just tell us. Just tell us, because the feedback... We did a podcast on feedback a few weeks ago.
Oh, we did.
All feedback is good feedback. And
Of course it is.
if you see these things coming up in your sales feedback over and over again, you can do something about it. But don't ghost people. That's a bit unfair.
It's very unfair. Just tell you're not interested.
Say, I'm
We
not for
are
you,
all
bro.
Big girls and big boys.
Yeah.
We can take it. So to summarise,
Thank you.
be yourself. Keep going. Stay positive. Take time out. Look after yourself. Ask for help, because you absolutely are not on your own.
No. This is great. Well done. I'm just going to shuffle my paper now like a newsreader.
Okay, ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to episode 208 of A Fresh Perspective on Business podcast. The only thing I'd like to signpost you, two things I'd like to signpost you to, please. Number one, if you know anybody who's recruiting at the moment, they're having a few problems with agencies, or they're struggling with CVs because they're doing themselves and they're a bit time poor and it's not their full-time job and they might need a bit of help, please send Vicky Taylor a message on LinkedIn. She would love to receive your message. We would love to support you with any part of the recruitment sphere.
Definitely.
Second of all, like Laura said, we do a not-for-profit awards evening, raising money for charity. You missed out on the cathedral if you didn't go, but you've got the opportunity to get involved in 2025. It's at Rivington Barn, which is in Chorley in Lancashire in England. It's on the 20th of June. I'll be DJing. It'll be mega. Might be a bit hot. But there'll be fantastic drinks, fantastic food, and you will have a fantastic experience. Tickets are now on sale. There's only 300 tickets. You might say, oh my God, sorry, that's bloody loads. I can tell you now, it isn't. We're capping out at 300 because we know we can sell 300. So if you want to get involved, please get on the website or drop the guys a message on LinkedIn. If you want to be a sponsor and benefit from loads of great stuff, whether it be a table sponsor, whether it be an award sponsor and all that jazz.
Category, table. We've already got a headline. Woo woo. An event. So welcome drinks, photography,
Disc
decorations, music.
Yeah.
Oh, there's loads of things to get involved. I have a lovely, beautiful PDF document that I can send to you on WhatsApp or email or LinkedIn. You just let me know. Message me, Vicky or Tony, on LinkedIn.
Please
We
do.
will be happy to help you. And then, I don't know what else. Tell people about this podcast.
Tell one. If you've got all the way to the end, which must be rare, I don't know, I've not seen the stats for a while, but if you've got all the way to the end and you've enjoyed yourself, please will you tell one person about it today? In fact, get your phone out now while you're listening to me and click on the three dots and share to WhatsApp. Bing. Sing it across. Please do that. I think we'd love to get above 100,000 listens a week, wouldn't we?
Oh my God.
We're nearly-
love that. We're almost there.
We're nearly at that fantastic point. Please tell one person, yeah. And I think that's it.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks so much for listening. See you later. Peace out.
Toboggan.